We could still.
Some with the snow plow in the front of it.
Okay, here we go. Call to order the January 6, 2025 meeting of the Harris Township Board of Supervisors. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we get started, I'd just like to remind anybody that possibly hasn't signed in to please go do so in the center back where Chief Winter is. So next is the approval of minutes. We have December 9th public hearing and December hearings plural and December 9th regular meeting.
So move on both of those, or?
Second.
Discussion on the minutes? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. Citizen comments. It's now time for any member of the public that wants to comment on an item that's not on the agenda. They could come forward to the microphone, introduce themselves, and do that. Any public comment? Any comments on the that are on the regular agenda? We'll save for that time.
Here, signing it.
Okay, good. All right, anybody have any new agenda items they'd like to bring up for discussion?
Nothing other than a Happy New Year.
Okay, all right. Okay, township business. We're starting with the organization of the Board of Supervisors. So we need to elect a chair and a vice chair for calendar year 2025.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I would like to make a motion that we make Bruce Lord the chairman and you the vice chairman.
Second that.
Do that both, okay. Any other nominations? We'll go with that motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, well, I guess since Bruce isn't here, he did say he'd become, he'd agree to be chair, so.
Too late now, he's not here.
Anyway, so I guess I gotta keep running this meeting. So, next we have interviews with prospective members of the ABC. So we'll go in the order on the agenda here, please. So we have, first is Beth Camerlengo, who's interested in serving on the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee. Please come to the mic and,
You can come this way.
just tell us a bit about your interests. We normally don't grill you with questions unless it's something that comes up. So, anyway.
I've been a resident in Harris Township since 1995. I raised 3 boys here who very much use the parklet behind Country Place. I'm interested in making sure that our parks and parklets stay up to date, that they're well managed, and that future kids can continue to use them. I have 3 grandchildren, 2 of whom have used this park, and I would just like to, moving forward, see that that's something that's feasible in the foreseeable future.
And you're Frank's neighbor.
I do. I am.
That's point 7.
That-
In a good way.
Are you sure about that?
She suffered all those years.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I don't have anything.
Any questions?
No.
We read your application.
Okay.
Thank you very much
All
for
right.
your interest.
Thank you for the consideration.
Okay. Next, Renee Deal is interested in serving either on the Planning Commission, Shade Tree, Water Authority Liaison, or UAJA Board. Is Renee here this evening?
She is not here. She contacted me this afternoon and said she would not be able to make it. She also indicated that of all the items she listed, she'd be interested in Planning Commission as an alternate would be her top pick.
Planning Commission
Commission
as an
alternate.
alternate.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, is it Lisa or Lisa Holland? I don't know. Oh, that's
Lisa.
Oh, she's on.
It's Lisa.
Oh, Lisa, okay.
I'm on the screen.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I did see your name. Yes, we can hear you fine.
Can you hear me on the screen? I'm sorry.
Yeah, we can hear you. I hope you can hear us.
Barely. And I'm also hearing impaired, so I'll try my best at introducing myself. I'm a retiree recently. I've been living in Bollesburg since 1985. I am an engineer and a soil scientist, and I use the parks quite a bit. I'm particularly interested in walking areas, and I like to be able to get out and walk, and I use the Yoder Preserve and the Bollesburg Trails and anything that's in walking distance from the village, and I've walked to all the parks that are in the village. My area of expertise has to do with environmental compliance, so I think I might be an asset. I've done a lot of work with cleaning up spills and releases that have occurred in the ground. I've done work with all kinds of things related to soils, so I'm hoping that I'd be a help to the parks.
Okay, thank you. Any of the board have any questions for Lisa? Okay, well, thanks for your interest.
Thank you.
All right, is Thomas Long here? Oh, on the, there we go.
Yep.
Okay, and you're interested in the zoning hearing board or the planning commission, according to our
Correct.
agenda? Thank you.
Yep. So I've lived in Harris Township since 2001. Raised my two daughters here. My wife and I. I worked at Penn State since, for about 24 years, plus 2 years in the 90s. But I'm a director of Enterprise Network and Communication Services. I'm just looking, I have a little more time on my hands as the kids grown, and I'm looking to give back to the community a little bit. I would like to have input on, the advancement of the township, and hoping to help.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? Board? Okay, well, thank you for your interest. We'll keep moving here. Alexander, I'm not even going to try to say the last name. Thank you. Anyway, interested in serving as our CNET representative.
Yes. Hi, my name is Alexander Schmidbauer. I'm applying to be the CNET representative for Harris Township. My wife and I have owned a home in Bollesburg for a little over 5 years now. I have a degree in computer science and currently work at Raytheon as a senior software engineer. Professionally, I spend my time managing the planning and execution of the work of 6 engineers, including myself. I do a lot of work with the federal government to negotiate and prioritize usage of limited time and resources. In the past, I've done a lot of work with various nonprofits. One notable example is as the webmaster for the Columbiana and Mahoning County Beekeepers Association. I worked with their board to develop resources to help bridge the gap between technically focused beekeepers and the general public to better serve both audiences. I've seen firsthand the good work nonprofits can accomplish, and I'm personally really impressed with CNET's PSA offerings for nonprofits. It would be an honor to serve my community as CNET representative for Harris Township, and I appreciate your consideration. Thank you.
Are you a beekeeper?
I'm actually a fourth generation beekeeper. I haven't done it since I moved out here. I've been waiting to get the right property to do it because I know as soon as I get into it, I'm going to get obsessed with it again and start scaling out rapidly. But I really hope to get into that one day.
My wife's a beekeeper, so here,
Excellent.
we'll get you in touch. It's a stinging occupation, so.
I like that.
Good.
Okay. And the wife, Harmony, please.
Howdy, Howdy, y'all. I'm Harmony Schmidbauer. As my husband mentioned, we've lived in Harris Township for about 5 years. I currently work remotely for a Silicon Valley startup, but I started my career out here in State College at Raytheon State College, where I met my wonderful husband. But working remotely, especially opportunities to get out into the community and honestly do so and not spend money, are really, really essential, just for balance and for making connections. And so for both myself as well as many of our friends who are also young professionals who work remotely, most of whom who do work remotely, the library has been a really critical resource for that. For not only like building the connection, but building like really good balance in our lives and actually leaving our house every now and then. I had volunteered for the Society of Asian Scientists and Engineers, which is a national organization, for around 3 years, working with a lot of their conference planning, and I really just wanted to get more involved in my local community, which is part of the reason why I'm here. And especially as my husband and I look forward to having a family, I've spent a lot of time reflecting on the importance that the library had in my childhood. I grew up in a small town with a single mom. I spent a lot of time at the library, and it really informed my current perspective on the importance of just shared spaces for building that connection, for learning, and for creativity. And so now more than ever, I think libraries are really important for just getting equitable access to information in like a friendly and approachable way, and again in a way where you're actually seeing and interacting with other people in person. So I really appreciate the opportunity to get involved here, and thank you for your consideration.
Okay.
Thank you.
Questions? Yes, thank you for your interest. All right. Great. Is Maria Spencer here? And Maria is interested in Planning Commission, Zoning Hearing Board, or Parks and Recreation Advisory Committees.
Yes. So I'm pretty flexible. I'll put that out there. I didn't know there'd be this many volunteers. I'm Maria Spencer. I've been in the township since 2009. I work at Penn State. Prior to that, I was working in economic development, so county level economic development and also municipal level, sort of regional level economic development, working with municipalities on energy efficiency initiatives and so forth. So I've got quite a bit of government-related experience. At Penn State, I've done a lot of strategic planning, so that's something that I would have to offer if it fits anywhere within the township's needs. Right now, I am clinical faculty with the College of Agriculture, so I sort of represent a bit of our traditional agricultural background. My area of expertise is in innovation and entrepreneurship. I also work right now with helping to lead a project with the United Nations. They have a food and agriculture organization that is launching a North American initiative through Penn State focused on ending hunger worldwide. So sort of a callback to our agricultural roots in this area. My main goal here, I've been in the township for a long time, really love it. My parents just relocated here from Pittsburgh, sort of downsizing. So we're pretty heavily invested in the community. My children are 7 and 10. I want this to be a really safe and wonderful place for them to grow up. And, our family is here and we want it to be a great community. So that's why I'm here. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's nice to see 7 people interested in volunteering. We've gone through years where we only had 1 or 2.
We do have a few positions to fill. So
Nice to see that.
and we will. We're going to recess and discuss the applicants a little later in the meeting.
But just for everybody, these orange sheets are your we studied these before we got here, so it wasn't that we didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
Thank you for everyone for applying or expressing an interest. Nice to see
Yes,
that.
indeed. Okay. Next on the agenda is the Mount Nittany Health Final Land Development Plan.
On December 6th of last year, staff received from HRG Incorporated the final land development plan for the Mount Nittany Health facility at the corner of Warner Boulevard and South Atherton Street. The plan, which was approved by the board in preliminary form at the November 2024 meeting, proposes an addition to the existing building and parking lot changes to accommodate the proposed new floor area. The property is zoned residential office. One review of the plan has been completed and included with the agenda, as well as a plan sheet showing the proposed development on the property. Review comments are few, and it is believed that those issues can be addressed in a timely fashion. Staff's recommendation is moved to approve the Mount Nittany Health Final Land Development Plan contingent upon satisfactory completion of review comments from the December 13, 2024 letter of the zoning officer and the December 2024 letter of the township engineer.
All right.
And I'll offer that Chris Nasuti from HRG is in the audience.
Okay. If you'd like to say a few words, that's fine. Thank you.
I think this is the same plan that we presented here and had before the board in December. We did provide additional detail on the patio, and we provided a little additional detail on the parking islands to make it a little easier to maintain. Other than that, I think it's essentially the same plan we had here last month.
Didn't we talk about the traffic exit coming off on Circle Drive? That's still there, isn't it?
Yeah, I think what was talked about at the meeting level was reversing the flow of traffic, and that was discussed with the property owner. Chris discussed it with the property owner, and they evaluated it and decided not to change the direction of traffic.
So it's still a one-way out?
Correct,
Yes.
one way out.
Which
Yes.
is better than, it's not wide enough for two-way.
Correct, it's not
Yeah,
wide
okay.
enough for two-way, yes. And then when we did the evaluation, trying to get additional traffic into the parking lot from 2 entry points seemed to cause more confusion than having 1 entry point with 2 exit points.
You'd be dealing with PennDOT if you did another entry somewhere from here coming around the curve, and
Yeah.
they wouldn't allow that. I could see that, so.
I'm thinking currently, there is no through traffic going to the Circle Drive side. Is that correct?
That's right.
Correct.
But, and this will have the possibility of traffic going through?
Yes.
Okay. But there's only a few parking spaces over there, and most people most likely go out the other way.
And the discussion we've had is those are going to be targeted for employee parking.
Uh-huh. That
And
makes sense.
The dumpster's the same location?
The dumpster's in the approximate same location. It's on the, I'll say, north side of that drive. It's going to be on the south side.
Yeah.
We've coordinated the dumpster pickup. They'll come in from Warner and go out on Circle.
Okay, come that way, okay.
Correct. Yep.
Question.
All right.
Do they know that? Is that
Yes,
gonna be indicated to the-
I
to your
coordinated that with
contractor?
them, try and find out which was better for them, so we could pick the direction of the parking lot.
Okay, okay.
Yep.
A question, and I remember we had the discussion, but we knew it wasn't part of this plan, but have we still have on our radar somewhere the turn onto Atherton Street off of Center, making it only a right turn only? Do we still have that in our plan somewhere?
That's something that we'll be speaking with the traffic engineer, the township traffic engineer, about the process to do that. But as you mentioned, it's not part of this plan, but yes, it's still on the radar.
Okay.
Okay, over here. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Any more questions?
How many more parking spaces is this adding to the current,
I believe there was 91, and I think 104 is the total we have. So it's 13 additional spaces.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, it's not a very big addition, pretty...
Not a very big addition. Important addition, though.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have
We don't have a motion
Okay,
yet.
I move to approve the Mount Whitney Health Final Land Development Plan contingent upon satisfactory completion of review comments from the December 13, 2024 letter to the zoning officer and the December 2024 letter to the township engineer.
Second.
Okay. Any more discussion? Okay. Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Believe that was unanimous, no opposed? Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you. I'll be in touch, Michael. Thank you.
All right, next, we have Chase Glickman here to talk about a criterium bike race proposal.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and open it up. So, just to introduce myself, my name is Eric Engelbarts. I serve as the Executive Director of the Happy Valley Sports and Entertainment Alliance. Our 501c3 nonprofit is basically a sister organization of the Happy Valley Adventure Bureau. The mission of the Happy Valley Sports and Entertainment Alliance is to drive Happy Valley's sports and entertainment strategy, enrich the quality of life, create economic impact, and raise the visibility of our region. So we're here today to pitch a new event. Essentially, that's what our nonprofit does, is we work to bring events into the area, and as you host those events, people travel into town, they eat in restaurants, shop in businesses, and spend their money in the local economy. What we have and what we're giving you an insight into what we'd like to do here is called a criterium. It's a cycling criterium. And right now we are working with the Pennsylvania State Cycling Association on hosting the elite racer category in 2025. I think probably the best thing, and I know we're trying to keep this short because we'll be back again next month with an official ask for you. I know we're just kind of wetting the, teasing you a little bit. So Mark, if possible, we had brought a short video to kind of just give you a visualization of what we're trying to do here in the Boalsburg area.
Testing my limits here on tech, but we're going to see if it works.
All right.
Yeah, of course it's not working on that screen. Hold on a minute here. Let me just drag this over. Hopefully people online can see it, and hopefully the volume's going to work. I'm not sure about that.
That's okay. So basically a criterium is kind of considered a NASCAR on wheels, on two wheels essentially, is where these racers will go around a designated course, which we had kind of passed out a couple of options. The race director that we have hired to help us pull this off is based out of Greenville, South Carolina. And she runs these events across the eastern coast, including the one that you're seeing right here. This one is based out of Anniston, Alabama. It's been around for 20-some years, so it's really built up to where it is now a stop on the national circuit. So the racers that you're seeing there, those are pro-level, Olympic-style racers going through the streets. But ultimately, what we're looking to do is to build that up over time. So right now we have a 2-year plan where we'd like to get the first event up off the ground, working with the Pennsylvania Cycling Association, but then ultimately build that to where it could be a professional stop on the national calendar.
And the one that we're asking for is state championship, so it is a higher level. We also want to involve the local teams as well, so as far as the Crows and Pickle, which are youth organizations, and we'd also like to bring in the collegiate.
Could you come closer to the mic, please?
So I'm Chase. I'm one of the owners of the Bike Roost. Like I said, we want to bring cycling, outdoor community, and just a fun event to Boalsburg. The loop that we have is very similar to the one that has already been approved with the glow rides that we've done before. As far as closure goes, there is an additional one that would bring the loop out onto Bowl Ave 322. It extends it about a quarter of a mile.
So what you'll see here is obviously it's bringing out spectators. These spectators will then frequent businesses. The city of Anniston did an economic impact study on this event that they host, and I believe it was posted on their website back in 2021 that this event contributed $2 million in economic impact. From bringing the events in to they host a festival as part of it, and obviously you see the spectators lining up to kind of see this. But this will be something, this would be down the road, like I mentioned, they've been running for 20-some years. What we're looking to do is just get an event up and running, and then ultimately try to build it into something that would be a stop on the national calendar. But for this year, we'd be looking to bring the youth in. We would have youth categories. We would be able to race with the locals. And then also have a state championship that would kind of put the cherry on top.
Yeah. Any questions or?
Yeah, we can ask questions.
We'll play a devil's advocate.
Sure.
Convince me of this over the impact of the neighborhood, because they're closing roads, and the impact to the services that we provide, fire, police, ambulance, those kind of things, because we have to look at the whole package. And talk to me about the financial gain to the township. I would expect something to be gained by doing this. If we're coming out of the Happy Valley group, let's start talking about a partnership that starts looking at we benefiting, not just your group. We'll talk about that, will you?
Okay. Yeah, and so as a 501c3 nonprofit, we don't necessarily profit out of these events. In fact, I think at this point, I'm willing to put in money to be able to host these.
What's the cost of a racer to get into this?
Good question. I'm not sure. Maybe $50, $100. I'm not sure what the Pennsylvania sanctioning body would charge for individuals.
It all depends on the level. So at an entry level of like the little kids, we would essentially be free just to have kids doing it. Amateurs would be less. And as each level goes up, there will be cash payout prizes equal for both men and women. And like I said, it goes higher at the state level. Sometimes they don't pay because it is the championship. But the money isn't really generated from the racers. It's more of people coming into the town and through sponsorships that we would have as well. Financial burden for you guys, we really wouldn't be asking for much. It would just be more volunteers to help shut down the road. We also have a reach for that as well with local groups and local organizations. It's pretty common for races in this area to rely pretty heavily on volunteers to help with closures and any activities that we might need as far as like stations for water and...
Now talk about the impact to the people that live on that loop with the road closed.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Go right ahead. It's going to be the same thing as Memorial Day. I hate to keep going back to that because I say that a couple times as I've presented, but it's the same thing. It is going to be a one-day event. It's not going to be running the entire day, so they will be able to go in and out in between heats and races. Each race is different times. The state level one will be the longest. It's typically 1 hour plus a loop, so about an hour and 5, hour and 10 minutes. And then as each level goes down, you pretty much shave off about 15 minutes. So the shortest one would probably be 15 to 20 minutes for kids. And this would be throughout the day. And then the Saturday, August 16th is the day.
What's contribution to police and fire?
Well, as monetary, money?
There has to be some payment here somewhere.
Yeah, no, and they're... You're the money if you want to.
Oh yeah, well sure. As part of the event budget, I believe if we were to pay for services, that would be something. If it was volunteer, then there would need to be some type of stipend back based off of the hours worked.
Our firemen are volunteers now, but there's no compensation there.
Well, sure, yeah, absolutely. And I believe Chase had mentioned in the events they had done in the previous that
the Glow Ride we've given contributions for the event, so it would be along the same lines as that.
I would expect some type of contribution.
Yeah, we're not.
I have a question. I'm kind of torn because I'm Duffy's Tavern and I'm a supervisor. You picked Penn State graduation for this event. So my potential loss during this time period is phenomenal. What do you do about that? There's no way that you can guarantee that you will make up to me in my business what I will make or what I do at Penn State graduation.
Penn State graduation, I believe, runs May?
No. Summer graduation on the 25 calendar, I believe, is August 16th.
Okay. Yeah, the August 16th was a Saturday, and we were looking at, on the community calendar, what I saw was the Grange Fair began that weekend. And I didn't think your Grange Fair conflicted with a summer graduation.
Well, it says right here, commencement Saturday, August 16th, summer 2025.
Okay. Well, the date is not set in stone either.
The next weekend is move-in weekend.
What about the previous weekend, August 9th?
Which means we got a lot of people coming into town on 322 and closing the Bollesburg Pike.
Yeah, well, if we flip it over, there's another option. And that's essentially why we came here tonight, too, is to kind of figure out what are those, the hard no's, the hard stops. But yeah, I was unaware of that. August 16th was the...
I didn't have that on there because I checked the schedule for that.
Homework. You have to convince me, and you haven't done that.
Okay.
Tell me that right now.
My concern, I'm kind of like her, I'm torn. Like one thing, I think having another large event in Bollesburg a year would be a good thing. I mean, we have Memorial Day, but we don't have a whole lot other. So that would be, but when I look at that, you know, and there's that first route on option A, that's the same route as the parade on Memorial Day, and we shut everything down. And of course, the whole town shut down that day for the most part. And you know, everybody's walking anyway, but this is the day we're going to shut down where nobody's planning on walking. Now, if the event, maybe several years down the road, it might turn out to that, but that would be my concern, is shutting down everybody inside that loop for a period. And, you know, and again, the businesses would probably be jumping up our backs on that. So I would like to see something like this go, but I think we need some serious negotiation or, you know, give and take on how we can make it go without, you know, disturbing a lot of other things that are going on. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. I mean, when I first read it, I think it's a great idea. You know, anytime we can put on a thing, it'd be great if you could tie it to Memorial Day, because then we could do it all at once. If you did it over Memorial Day, you know, we just add one more Sunday. We're not doing anything Sunday on Memorial Day. What the heck? It'd be a great day to do it. But like I said, that's where I'm looking at.
Yeah.
You know. So other than that, that's my only comments on it.
I think though, in comparison to Memorial Day, considering like I'm running through the alleys all the time on Memorial Day, I can get in and out regardless through all the alleys without any question. And people who live there can also get in and out through the alleys without any question. So in comparison, for an hour when they do the parade, or an hour and a half or whatever. So and even then, by the time the end of the parade is all open and everything, like, so I guess that's my question about how people are going to feel about that. And I can't answer that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, and like Chase had mentioned, you know, with the course, you know, there's really only a few spots where you really have to have fencing along most of the routes. Usually we could use volunteers and allow people to get access. So if you got to get in or out, probably the most longest you'd have to wait
would be the final, which would be the last one, yeah.
Yeah, the final to get out. Most races wouldn't take that long. So if you were stopped at a stop sign, it might be 10 minutes to wait for the race to conclude, or for the volunteer to wait it through.
Why'd you pick Bollesburg over any other community?
The bike roost.
We wanted to bring it here. We wanted Bollesburg businesses. We wanted the community to benefit from it. This is why we chose Bollesburg.
How do you think the businesses are going to benefit from it?
I mean, without leaning into yours, it's a...
Well, lean into mine because it's my business.
Yeah, so it's a outdoor event where people would be outside cheering on. So you would have people hopefully on your patio as they go by, eating, drinking, and watching the bike races. Same thing with the other vendors as well.
So where were you? How many people are you expecting, and where are you planning parking?
So parking, we'd be talking about, it'd be, what can I think of it? Bollesburg Museum, we'd talk about that. Talk about Bowl City as well. Gordy's lightly involved with it. We've all mentioned to him about it. And it would be much like Memorial Day of parking.
And how many people would you be expecting for this?
So I think
it all depends on, sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say the racers are going to be between 150 to 200 racers. Particularly, kind of depends on the sanctioning body and what the elites will bring, but then we'll be rallying the community to come out and race, like with the youth will be able to come out and do those type of things. And then typically when you look at racers, usually 1.5 to 2 people per race, or per person would be coming out. So yeah, hopefully 500 to 1,000 people would be coming out and being able to view the race.
You know, and if I'm looking back, and this would be pre-COVID, you know, the wine walks got more and more every time they had one. And I know we had some issues with them, but overall they were quite a success. And people loved coming out and walking in the streets and, you know, doing those things. So as far as the draw, I think our community is a natural draw. People like to come here and walk and check things out and look at Bollesburg. So like I said, I'm still torn on shutting down the streets. I mean, for that long, I wouldn't be a problem. Like you say, hey, we're gonna have a shutdown for an hour or an hour and a half. I could live with that, but an all day shutdown, starting to, you know, push people's fuses. So I think that's where we have to negotiate and find out what we can do, or is there a route we can do without, you know, a lot of inconvenience. So I think that part of the plan is going to have to be pretty well thought out.
Really flush
Can
out.
you use a larger loop? We've got a 5-mile loop in the township.
5 Mile will be too big. They like to keep it into a mile, mile and a half.
It's a sprint race.
Yeah, it's a sprint race.
We've got the Linden Loop all laid out.
We are open to it. That's why we're presenting kind of.
But that's an interesting position because that requires PennDOT Highway, College Township, and Harris Township road closures and approval. I did that for 10 years, so I know the logistics of doing
Old
that.
Denny,
So
I got a route. Now that we have it open up there, we could send them up Academy Street. They would love that, to take it up Academy and around the
through
top.
Springfield County.
Yeah, up around the top and come back down.
I hope the cameras are on to hear that one. So
I'm just saying, I just thought I'd throw that out, you know.
As long as they're going up Academy Street,
Yeah, it's
not
not
down,
going up.
right?
Yeah, we're gonna have them going up.
I guess the other thing is you guys talk about what does it bring to the town? What does it do for the businesses? It gets foot traffic here. Being in business here, we don't have foot traffic. It's a destination spot, so it brings people here. While they're watching the race, they hopefully will be eating and drinking. In between heats, they'll be going in and out of our stores, and it just helps put Boalsburg more on the map that we're not just old Boalsburg. We have tons of new businesses that are ready to thrive, and it helps showcase what Boalsburg is.
you talking food trucks too?
We can do, yeah, we can do food trucks, we can do breweries. I mean, there's so many things that we can expand on to bring
So you
a
need
draw
parking for
here.
food trucks.
We don't have to, we can bring all that in. What I'm saying is, we would like to have the Boalsburg businesses benefit first.
How would you have my business benefit if you're bringing 500 to 1,000 people in and you're also bringing food trucks? And I'm losing on any Saturday, especially during the summer, I'd be losing a huge percentage of my business. That's the problem. I mean, this is where I get stuck between the two. It is also where my husband, my front of the house manager, and my staff would have a say about this, about how we are going to do this. And I have no guarantees of anything about this balance. So, you know, you look at any day in the summer, and, you know, it's a percentage of the month, and it's a big percentage on a Saturday. So I guess if you're looking at only 500 to 1,000 people coming in, how do I feel about that as a business person versus a supervisor?
And your patio has a capacity limit on it, Tracy?
Yes, we have we do. But then again, I have to fill my patio to have a capacity.
What other businesses in town have patios?
I mean, I'm sorry, I don't.
No, you
I have a hard time
saying
thinking of.
want.
Yeah,
Please
we're saying on the low side of 500 to 1,000. I've been to Manayunk races, I've been to other races where there's tens of thousands of people. Would that happen first year? Probably not. It has the capacity for it, but I would think and I'm just going to say 16th, but whatever date in the summer, it can be a ghost town on Saturdays, and to bring 500,000, 1,500 people in there, it has to give you flow traffic. I can't give you an exact number because I don't know the people coming in, but if it's an outdoor event and you're the only place with outdoor eating and drinking, it's kind of a home run for you.
Depends on how many food trucks you bring, too.
We haven't talked about any food trucks. We've presented to you. You guys said, would you bring in food trucks and that if...
Well, that was a question.
Yeah, we haven't talked to any food trucks. We want to give the benefit to you and Bowl City and Kelly's. We want to give it to Boalsburg. If we need to bring in other facilities because businesses don't want to work, then we have to do that. But I want to give it to you. I want to give it to us. I want to give it the money to Boalsburg. That's why we're not going to State College. We're not going to Howard. We're not going to other areas. I live here. I'm part of the community. I want to drive as much business and foot traffic here.
I would have a suggestion to you.
Sure.
I would suggest that that you pick a date that would tie it to the Route 45 getaways, which would be the first weekend in August is when the Route 45 getaways are working.
Yeah, I know we ended up on that August 9th or August 16th because of the Pennsylvania cycling calendar, but August seemed like a good month, so that might actually work.
I mean, I would seriously consider that. That is actually something I could take to my staff.
Why, if you don't mind? Why is that
Because,
a better? Why is that a better weekend?
Why is
for
that a
us?
better
Yeah.
weekend? Because first of all, it ties into an event that's already happening. Okay, an event that is kind of wanting to grow. You know, it was started. It's being pulled right now out to the Milheim area, and then adding back to you've got things like other businesses participating in this, like you've got the Heritage Museum participating in it, the Royal Mansion, hopefully, and so all these things are kind of going on, and you could everything could be focused in on that as well. It just puts more into an event that's already happening.
We can certainly look into it. I'm not against it.
I would definitely, plus also it gives you more advertising, you know, because there's advertising through, you know, the Route 45 getaways. So, I mean, it might work better for that. So, I mean, it's just a suggestion, and it's the Happy Valley Adventure Bureau is involved in that, and so is, you know, all the, well, we're supposed to have all the townships involved in that as well, along the Route 45 corridor.
Well, I think we've kind of gave them where our stance is.
I do have another question.
Okay.
So, how many heats would you expect to happen during the day? And you were saying some of them are going to be short, like, you know, the lower level groups, and then professional, like, or, you know, high level. So how many heats would you anticipate running in a day?
Well, really, what it ends up coming down to is when you request your road closures, whatever we're allowed to close the road for, then you program that many races that you can into it. So if we get 4 hours, we get 12 hours, then we really look at what are the various races that we have. For the sanction that we got for 2025, the Pennsylvania State of Cycling gave us the elites. I believe it's 5, maybe 6 categories. So they do like a category 1, 2, and a category 3, 4. It's based on skill level. So those will be the races that were mandatory able to run, and then after that, we'll look to the community as to say what would be the most beneficial to host here. So
And how many?
It's the 8 and unders or whatever.
Right. How many riders would you anticipate in a heat?
That really varies by the registration. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm not sure what, like, we could look up the results from the previous year and see what the elite categories raced in. But,
I mean, I'm just visualizing by the time the course has gone around a few times, you have just a constant stream of bicycles doing this loop, and nobody can go anywhere.
Yeah, it usually breaks off into packs. There'll be the fast pack that goes, and then there's a second that goes with it, and they're pretty tight. Yeah, you have stragglers that go around, but it usually breaks off into 2 packs.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not just a constant loop. It usually gets.
Okay, we'll bring Van up to the mic. Our illustrious fire chief.
I'm Van Winter, Chief Bollesburg Fire Company. We have worked with bike routes in the past. It's very excellent. They've done very well with us. They have compensated us for our traffic control issues for the bike thing. My concern of it is we just sit back and figure through our head. We probably lose 3/4 of our people in the fire company for the Grange Fair that are down there or traveling down with their families. There's going to be a very limited amount of people of us around town to be able to man the stations on that specific day because it is a Saturday of Grange Fair. So it's the first Saturday of Grange Fair. So we're going to be very limited with our manpower that day just for that very specific reason. And getting the approval on PennDOT is a different thing. We've been doing it for years, and it takes a lot to get that approval to get a road shut down. We're working with State College Police on that, along with the closures for Memorial Day. And just the most recent tragic event that occurred in New Orleans, that's a heightened awareness that we need to make sure that everyone's kept safe, especially out on Bow Avenue if that's a route that's traveled. We've had to put like basically barricades, Jersey barriers up on the road so no one can run through our parade route and do what happened in New Orleans. So that's a real thing you have to look at for this event if it goes out that way. But my concern is I'm not sure that we as a fire company can really support as much as we have in the past just because we're not going to be short-staffed on that specific day. My suggestion is look at another day would be a lot better for us as a fire company to support this away from everything that's going on.
There's only 3 levels of police that can regulate traffic. Fire police, local police, and military police. You can't just pull volunteers from your backyard and say, control traffic. That's a big liability issue. You gotta realize there's only 3 groups that can do that. State College and police are on contract with us. Per hour cost. Are you gonna absorb that per hour cost off of our contract?
They have to.
They would have to get
Okay.
a special event registered with the
That's right.
township, and that would involve reimbursing for any
That gets pretty
police
expensive.
and emergency services that are required for the event.
We're at, what is it per hour, 100 and something?
134, I believe, per
100
hour. I'm not sure if
per
that's
hour?
our contracted rate, or there might be a different rate for events, I'm not sure.
I'd imagine you'd have to have ambulance standing by too, and
And that's
you'd have to
that's a
absorb the cost of that.
$3,000 loan to get the ambulance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just be aware of your
I'm sure as
costs.
part of the sanctioning body, they would require EMS on site.
Okay, well, they're gonna,
I'm good. I think they need to go back to the drawing board. And I
yeah,
think they've heard us, you know.
yeah, I mean, I think,
Get your calculator done and start putting some numbers behind this because we have some convincing to do.
Well,
Sorry, we're here.
I know you guys have a very busy agenda tonight, so I just want to say thank you for allowing us to come in here and present this. Appreciate the feedback, and we'll see you soon. So, thank you again.
Thank you. Thanks for coming.
okay. We have to go into the,
Yeah, we'll go over and meet in the conference room for the
Yeah.
executive session.
What would happen if we just continued and did that at the last end?
oh, we have to do it
You
now.
really have to take care of all these now to be able to continue the rest of the agenda.
Okay.
Okay, we are now recessing to executive session. We will be back in a few minutes. Okay, I want to reconvene this meeting.
We never did pick up Bruce though, did we? He never joined us?
No, he's not here.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay, so
Oh, there they are.
now we have to go through all these appointments, the annual appointment to positions stipulated by code or ordinance, so Township Secretary and Treasurer. Come on, let's get the motions out.
Okay, I'll make a motion to appoint Mark Bokel to serve as Secretary Treasurer for Harris Township for 2025, setting the treasurer's bond at $1 million.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Assistant Secretary
I move to
Treasurer.
appoint an Assistant Secretary and adopt Resolution 2501 as Tracy Moriarty.
Second.
Okay, discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, professional appointments, Township Engineer.
Move to appoint College Township Engineer Department and Century Engineering to serve as primary municipal engineer for Harris Township. Move to appoint McCormick Taylor to serve as traffic engineer.
A second.
Okay, discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, Sewage Enforcement Officer.
Move to appoint the Center Region Code Administrator as primary SEO and LaRon Horner as alternate SEO.
Second.
Okay, discussion? Okay, all in favor,
Have we
say
ever
aye.
dealt with Horner? Has he
Aye.
ever
Aye.
been in the township? You know
Not
him?
in the township, but he is the College Township alternate, and I spoke with them.
Okay.
They spoke highly of him.
That's a new name in the SEO circle,
Yes.
so, okay.
Okay, that was revote. Did you approve that? I heard yeses from over there.
Yes,
Okay,
we had a couple down here, so.
right. Okay, Township Solicitor.
Move to appoint the new law firm McQuay, Blasco, with Thomas Schrack, Catherine Barber, and Jennifer Bauer as principal counsel to serve as Harris Township Solicitor for 2025, and to appoint Ron McLaughlin and the law firm of Stover McLaughlin to serve as alternate solicitors for 2025.
Second.
Okay, discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 I think we'll be very pleased with Tom.
Good. Okay, Zoning Hearing Board Solicitors.
Recommend, move to appoint Scott Etter and the Etter Law Firm and Zoning Hearing Board Solicitor, and David Gaines and the law firm of Miller, Kistler, and Campbell as alternate Zoning Hearing Board Solicitor.
Second.
Okay.
Okay, discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, Act 511 Tax
Move
Collector.
to appoint Center Tax Agency as the Act 511 Tax Collector for 2025.
Second.
Okay, discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, COG and related committee appointments. So,
I wouldn't mind doing something a little more substantial.
I didn't hear that, Tracy, please.
I wouldn't mind doing something a little more substantial.
More substantial, oh, okay. Then you have,
I have
Public
public
safety.
safety. I wouldn't mind doing facilities. I mean, I think that you're gonna stay on finance. You're gonna have to give that up sometime, but I wouldn't mind doing facilities.
I'll give you facilities, I'll take public safety.
Or I can do both facilities and public safety.
Pardon?
I can do both facilities and
Oh, you
public
want,
safety.
you
Yeah, I
want to
can, yeah, I
stay
can
in
do them
safety?
both.
Oh, okay.
I might as well, I mean, we don't do much.
yeah.
All right. Do we have to
Okay.
come down with a list?
Well,
or not?
Nigel
We
will do
do.
exec.
Yeah, I'll need a
No.
list, so
Bruce will do
No,
it.
Bruce will do it.
Bruce does
Exactly.
exec, Frank does
exec.
finance. Who's doing human resources?
Me.
Who's
Forever.
doing parks, capital? If,
Parks Capital is Bruce. Your safety.
And you're gonna,
Okay.
you're gonna let
I'm
Tracy,
safety facilities.
you don't wanna fight Tracy Facilities?
Climate
Dennis.
action. Who's doing climate action? Is that you?
That's me.
That's just Nigel.
Okay.
Okay. You do Lucy, right? Dan?
I'll do Lucy.
Yep.
Okay,
Bruce does
Bruce does all the
special
parking.
committee?
Yeah.
wait, Dennis doing Lucy?
is he retiring?
Is that you doing
Bruce.
I-
land use,
He's
community
already
infrastructure?
No, I mean,
That's you?
Leaving the board. If he's leaving the board, it'd probably be very good to make sure that
And
we're very up to date at what.
Bruce will be
going on
doing
with
Parks and
programs.
Rec Governance Special Committee. Okay.
Now, Spring Creek Watershed, doesn't the vice do that every year?
Right.
Didn't we come up with that a few years back?
Vice
You
chair does it, but then you
Bob
typically
Iger.
had Bob Igo as your alternate.
It's
attending on
graciously
your
assigned
behalf.
to Bob Iger.
Yeah,
Right.
and he still wants to do it, right?
He does, yeah, he's
Okay.
happy to continue serving
All
as
right,
the
we're
alternate.
good there. Heritage Museums, we still let Bud do that?
But
Yeah. Let Bud do it?
I'm
What about
confused.
Center Area Cable? Do we need one there?
We still need an appointee, I understand, but it's not like they meet. I don't know.
They
if
only
they
meet
want
every
to.
10 years, don't they?
Yeah, but we're supposed to have an appointment every year in case, I guess, there's a reason to meet. So,
Who
I
was
think
it?
Bruce was last year. I think it was Bruce.
Bruce was the most current?
I believe he was who served last year, yes.
Well, he gets it again.
There you go.
That'll teach him not to show. I mean, Danny, you do SP.
I'll do shoulder,
Yeah,
yeah.
Danny
Yeah,
does that one.
okay.
Okay. All right. Is there any other ones we have to make a motion to all that, right?
Right, and so for the Spring Creek Watershed, that's the only one that kind of stands out where you'll have Nigel serving as the primary with
Right.
Bob Igo as the alternate.
Uh-huh.
We always
The
have
primary alternate.
Right, and I assume that the board still wants to keep the same policy. If you can't attend a meeting,
Yeah.
find another board member, and then not, then I'm up.
When does
Okay.
Spring Creek Watershed Commission meet?
Wednesday. Well,
They meet the third Wednesdays of the month. They've been meeting here in our
What
building,
time? What time?
7 o'clock.
That's a Tuesday. One of
In the evening?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'll make a motion that all that stuff we just talked about is what we want to pass.
I'll second that motion.
Sounds good to me.
I have it all written down.
Okay, very good.
the motion of
Okay.
ambiguity.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Good deal. All right. Vacancy Board.
Move to appoint Charles Graham to serve as vacancy board chairman for 2025 with term ending December 31st, 2025.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oh, I get the next one.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, this is for the Planning Commission. Move to appoint Bob Igo, Jeff Durr, Peggy Johnson, and Maria Spencer, regular members of the Planning Commission, to terms ending December 31st, 2028. Move to appoint Peter Irish as a regular member of the Planning Commission with a term ending December 31st, 2026. Move to appoint Tom Long as an alternate member of the Planning Commission to a term ending December 31st, 2028, and move to appoint Renee Deal and Chuck Rizzo as alternate members of the Planning Commission with a term ending December 31st, 2025.
Sounds good.
Was that right?
It's right.
That's
Seconded.
what you talked about.
Second.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
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 Good, okay. All right, Zoning Hearing Board.
She took my paper. Denny, you're up. She took my paper.
Okay, I'm
I
confused.
didn't make notes on these things.
Oh, zoning hearing board. Okay, move to appoint Michael Emmel to the zoning hearing board to a 3-year term ending December 31st, 2027.
Second.
Thank you.
Sorry.
All right,
I wasn't paying
discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
State College Borough Water
Move to
Authority.
appoint Michael Smith to serve as Harris Township liaison to the State College Borough Water Authority in 2025.
Second.
Okay, discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, CNET representative.
Did you write that down, Denny? Move to appoint Alex Schmidbauer to serve as Harris Township CNET representative in 2025.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Great job.
Aye.
Okay, oops, next one. Move to appoint, oops, I better go back over
Very
here.
good.
Pam Dunn, Diane Farr, and Susan Hammerstead, and Beth Camerlingo to the Parks Recreation Advisory Committee to a term ending December 31st, 2027.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Shade Tree Commission.
Move to appoint Tim D'Amico to the Shade Tree Commission for a 5-year term ending December 31st, 2029.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. SCLO Center Regional Library Representative.
Move to appoint Harmony Schmidbauer to a 3-year term on the SCLO Center Regional Library Board ending December 31st, 2027.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Yes.
Do I gotta keep going?
We're moving along right here. Center Region Planning Commission.
Move to appoint Jeff Durr as a primary representative to the Center Region Planning Commission with a term ending December 31st, 2025.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Boy, we're getting out of
We're
here.
doing well here.
I'm telling you.
Oh, wrong page.
Okay. Move to appoint Township Manager Mark Vokel as the representative and Finance Assistant Bridget Armstrong as an alternate to the Center County Tax Collection Committee.
Second.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, all right.
Move to approve and the meeting schedule as proposed.
Second. Any
Okay, there's
discussion?
no conflicts obvious here.
Holidays?
Spring break. The day, March 10th is the day before my knee replacement. Finally going for
Oh,
it.
that'll be fine. You'll be okay that day. It's the
Yeah,
next
I'll be
day. It's the
fine.
next day you worry about.
Yeah.
You can remote.
You need advice on here.
Okay. All right, we have a motion to approve.
Yes, she already did it. We get
Okay.
a second too.
Okay. Well, who was that anyway?
I was the second. She was the
Okay,
first.
very good. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Appointment of delegate to state convention for PSATs.
I'll move to appoint Denny for attending the PSATS convention, Harris Township delegate for 2025.
Second.
Okay with
You're
that?
still going, right?
Of course he is.
Yes.
You're going.
Well, I've got another corporate meeting that Tuesday, Wednesday, so I gotta work out something to get out of there.
If you need somebody else, I was just assuming you were going to go. If you need somebody else, okay.
I'm sort of planning on it, but I've got a conflict now, so.
Okay.
I just found out last week, so.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean,
I would go, but
You-
it's the week before graduation. There's no way.
we'll
Yeah.
say you're okay with being the
Yeah.
board representative for PSATs. Okay. We got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, now we're getting to the resolutions for all sorts of great stuff. Resolution
Wait a minute.
2502, the fee schedule. Hope you all looked at it.
I did.
Or-
Yeah, let me know if you need me to read any of these or.
No, I don't, I mean, I looked over them all. I gather that anything highlighted is a change.
That's correct.
That was-
Everything that was
that was my
highlighted
question, so,
is,
okay.
yes, everything's highlighted as a change.
Yeah,
And these were the things that we had talked about during one of the budget meetings.
Okay.
yeah, okay. We need a motion and a second for that.
I move to adopt resolution 2502, setting the fee schedule for Harris Township.
I'll second it. Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Well, I have a
Aye.
discussion point.
Oh, go ahead. What's your discussion point?
My discussion point is we're gonna go back to the, where is it, Mark?
Where is it? What are we talking about?
The fee schedule.
Yes, what are you looking for in the fee
You
schedule?
know what I'm looking for. I can't find it now.
What
I
are
talked to you earlier
Oh,
about it.
about the transit retail merchant?
Yes.
That's on page 2.
Okay, so that's gonna have to be looked at. I proposed we looked at that. I proposed a new look-see poo next meeting, right?
Yeah, you asked if it would be on the
Yeah,
next,
yeah,
next
schedule,
meeting
yes.
agenda.
Perfect, thank you. I just wanted to put that out there. And so now we can say all in favor.
Okay, well, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, that's the official vote. Okay. Resolution 2503, amendment and agreement to extend term of settlement agreement with Penn State.
I hate this.
Any highlights about this thing that we need to?
Well, I don't know if there's really any highlights. What this is the agreement expired on December 31st of last year. This agreement that we worked out with Penn State representatives in advance of the expiration was to extend this for 2 years. And with the county withdrawing from the agreement, State College Borough will now act as the conduit for any fee in lieu payments or impact fee payments, I should say, not fee in lieu, but impact fee payments that are sent by the university and then further distributed to all the participants.
Is this generated about $6,000? Is that impact?
We get around 13,000, 13 to 14,000 a year, and it goes up annually. Last year was in the 13.5 range.
It increased based upon some...
There's a calculation. I think it's based upon CPI. It's Consumer Price Index increase. Yeah.
I'll move to approve Resolution 2503, authorizing the execution of the amendment and agreement to extend term between the townships of Ferguson, Harris, and Patton, the Borough of State College, and the Pennsylvania State University.
So
I have a question about this.
Okay.
Is there any way to really quantify, figuring out a definite way to quantify the impact that Penn State has, a logical quantification?
I don't know there's a way to perfectly quantify it, but we, as managers prior to meeting with the university, did work on trying to quantify it with at least known factors that we can quantify. So it's not a perfect way of analyzing. There's probably things we weren't able to really get data for, but looking at things like police services and knowing that we have students that do live in the township. We don't have student housing complexes, but we have students living here. Trying to quantify how much those residents would typically be paying towards services. But
does it include non-taxable land owned by the university?
That's it. No.
Within the township?
So we do have some non-taxable land, but that's not really included here. The only time that payment in lieu of taxes occurs is if there's a franchisee or a private business. So you think of like a Dairy Queen or some type of a restaurant operation on campus. Those have payments in lieu of taxes. We don't receive those. We just receive an impact fee. So this is strictly just an impact fee based on the settlement from the 1990s.
So this is quite different than the Rathrock Forest.
Correct.
Harris Township relationship. That generates a pretty good sum.
And that's through the state, and that's something they do statewide. Correct.
Okay. So in that impact fee, are we also including do we have data on people who have purchased second homes here to come up for the football games? So we're losing any kind of local income tax on on anybody working here. Is there a way to do that? Is there a way to calculate an impact fee on the Airbnbs?
Well, I'm sure we could get into more analysis than we have. We tried to keep it as simple as possible just so there wouldn't be kind of an analysis paralysis where we just keep digging deeper and deeper and deeper. We really looked at the type of services we provide and tried to provide a number related to the university's impact on us related to those services.
There was a consultant.
There was, right. And the consultant ended up putting some numbers together for us, and those were the numbers that we, shared with the university and planned to utilize at least in discussing with them.
Just for your information, FYI.
Yes.
When you start sitting down at the negotiating table, something that has changed in the last couple years here is now they send football traffic down University Drive and out through here, and they've taken us back to the 80s and 90s where you go down Bow Avenue and it's bumper to bumper all the way down through, and you can't get in and out of like my development or Brookside. So they need to pay a little more for that, because that is becoming where police services, accidents, stuff's getting higher because where they're sending that traffic. So they have changed some things, and it hasn't come back to us as far as police services, wear and tear on our roads, and
now
that type of thing.
If the stadium is changing, the stadium's growing. If the stadium's changing, the stadium's growing. We have there are a lot of what if analyses that go with that, and I mean it's not. It has to be included.
Yeah, we tried to look at common ways we could look at it across all the municipalities that are involved in the agreement, because we all have different, characteristics. And we came up with at least, I think, commonality on where we could come up with some figures that we felt were defensible. So,
with the expansion of the university reimbursement to Alpha Fire, it's fairly heavy this year. Does any of that trickle to Boalsburg? Boalsburg being the first mutual aid out?
We receive, as I recall, the Boalsburg Fire Company, I believe, receives some funding from Alpha. because of the area that they cover within Alpha's
yeah, okay.
territory. But I don't know that there's anything specifically related to the university with that, but that's outside of
There's
this
a fairly
agreement.
heavy increase between
Sure.
Penn State and Alpha this year.
Right.
Have you also had discussions about, and I've heard this, I don't know if it's true or not, the fact that Penn State was interested in increasing the student body size?
That hasn't come up yet. We have literally just started talking to Penn State about this, which is why we needed the extension, because we just started meeting with them back in the fall and only had, I think, maybe 1 or 2 meetings. So we haven't gotten that deep into discussing yet, but I'm sure that may come up at some point early on.
I just feel like sometimes I'm like, why are they fighting so hard? Why are they fighting so hard? There's an impact.
Called dollars and cents.
I know, but you know what? They have a ton of that, and don't be greedy. Let's just work with this.
Big new housing project, East College and University Drive, one of those where the old apartments used to be.
Yep. Putting a
1,500
norm in there.
students.
By the way, if you need an antagonist to go to those meetings, just call me. I'll be more than happy to go. I have no problem throwing shots across the bow.
Oh, me too.
Is that the elephant in the room you referred to one time?
Okay,
Sure, we can elephant in the room.
all right. Can we vote?
Oh yeah.
We're ready.
Okay, all in favor, resolution 2503, please say aye.
Aye.
Unanimous, okay. Penn State Pilot Impact Fee Agreement, appointment of special counsel.
Move to appoint Babs Callen as special counsel to provide legal services related to negotiation of the pilot impact fee agreement with Penn State University.
Second.
Okay,
Is the relationship with Babs Callen because of Betsy Dupree? The continuation of the
We're
discussion between
continuing,
those?
right, we're going to continue to use the same legal counsel that was at least available
If
for
she
some of
would-
the participants previously. She's been involved. It made sense
She
to
would know
keep,
the details of that. Okay.
makes sense to keep
Yeah,
one
yeah.
legal counsel available.
You can offer my antagonistic services to her also.
I'll let her know.
okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Unanimous, okay. Good deal. Managers report.
Okay, so one thing that's not on the manager's report, mark down November 14th on your calendars. That is a Friday. That will be the township dinner date for 2025, November 14th.
You're that far ahead.
We got to
Can we
book
get
it.
openings, you know?
Well, that was I think the only day that worked for them, that worked for us too. So a few things on here I wanted to at least raise to your attention. It was already brought up about PSATs. Please let me know if you are planning to attend as soon as possible. The registration opens next week, and we want to make sure we jump on and get it done immediately.
And get in the lodge.
That's right, get in the lodge. So please let me know if you plan to attend PSATs. On the back here, number 8, just bringing up that you were all provided with a copy of a draft traffic calming policy that I put together, utilizing a PennDOT handbook as well as multiple policies from other municipalities around the state. Some here in the center region, some down near the Philly area. But there's a number of aspects on this, or in this policy, that can be modified. A lot of those were highlighted. So if you would like, I can add this to a future agenda for discussion. I figured at least
I
get
would
it
like
to you.
that.
Yeah.
At least get it to you in
Yeah.
advance. You can start looking at it. If you have comments you want to send me before I put it on the agenda, please let me know. But I can always plan to put that on in February.
I mean, I think it's important to put on the schedule because I know we have a lot of citizens who are concerned about this.
Right.
So we need to discuss it.
Right.
Well, I think also maybe invite the lady that we talked about in our executive session.
Well, that would be something, if you want to have that for the next meeting, we can. I didn't know if you wanted to first have a discussion about the contents of the policy before we invite public to specifically come and.
I think what I read here is a pretty decent start.
I just, the one thing that, I just want to point out that what really, this doesn't make sense to me in this. A minimum of 30 cut-through trips occurs in 1 hour in both directions, and a minimum of 100 cut-through trips occur in both directions in an 8-hour period. My problem is what 8-hour period are you using? And an 8-hour period, like 9 to 5 is the working, and it doesn't seem to make sense that an 8-hour period. is.
Yeah,
That's
I
the
think
only
that
thing.
that kind of stuff can be talked
Well, no,
out.
no, that was the only thing I really didn't think made sense. That's it.
It can be talked out. And the
I'll
only
blame
thing,
PennDOT for that, because I use their language verbatim.
Yeah, that's the only thing that really doesn't make any
Well,
sense.
sure,
And there's
engineer
no,
knows it.
there's
Well,
no
it
yellow
does.
here.
It could vary if,
Right.
if you do your
I-
traffic counts and it looks like this 8-hour period from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. is the highest counts, or could be a different 8-hour period.
the only comment I will have on this is the fact that I did see a lot here. I like, there's some things that, but I don't want to put a traffic calming policy in that every other week we have, in front of my house, I want this, it's got to have some, and I like that there were some serious criteria here, as long as we have something like that we're not having everybody in the world. And then the last thing I liked was when you said only when finances are available. I'm comfortable with that going forward.
This leans very heavily on public involvement, which is,
Yeah.
again, part of PennDOT's recommendations. The reason I didn't have anything in there highlighted, Tracy, about that was because that's a little over my head in terms of engineer speak, and PennDOT didn't specifically say this is something you could look at adjusting. Like the miles per hour they did. They said this is something some municipalities do a different threshold than 10. But yeah, and like some of the survey and submittal requirements, those are all negotiable. But
I looked at the thing and pictured it in various neighborhoods and kept thinking about how it would impact Academy versus West Main versus something in the Hill area. I'm not sure we can come up with one policy that applies to all of them equally. That's going to be tough.
That I agree with. That
When you
you've got
say-
difference in streets and difference in.
Well, I think that's where this is a guidance of how you study. It's not, this is how you get a certain result. This is just this is the process to engage a study and the basic criteria to say there may be some type of calming devices needed. They don't have to be speed humps. They could be other things. It can be paint. It can be chicanes. There's a lot of different traffic calming devices.
Valley Vista Drive, it's got your speed limit, and then when you crest the top of the hill between Devonshire and Oakley, and it starts flashing, if you're speeding, it flashes red and it flashes your speed, and then turns green when you slow down. Something like that might, just simple, wakes people up.
Except who wants something that flashes outside of their window?
Where that particular one is
The residents need to realize that they may not be getting the same device as the next street over.
Correct.
Based upon all different kind of criteria. I'm not sure they can understand that.
And it may not even be that their concern is valid after the study is done. If you do the study and it shows that there's not a speeding issue, this type of a policy is in place to help guide that decision making.
Yeah, well, then go talk to the manager after that.
Yes, that would be correct.
It's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, the only other thing I'd mention on here, just a reminder, you do have a meeting on January 22nd at 7. That's your joint meeting with the Planning Commission, Parks and Rec, and Shade Tree Committee to talk about their work plans.
Okay.
Unless you have any questions, that would be my report for the month.
Good. All right, approval of vouchers.
Oh, number 2. Any update on number 2 with respect to the 25 acre?
I don't really have much to offer other than I'm gonna ask our new solicitor to talk to their attorney about it.
Okay.
And just kind of understand. My understanding is they would like to give the land to the township as conservation only.
Okay.
So it's,
As far as too early to say anything.
I'm sorry?
As far too early to say anything.
It is,
about
and it's all forested and very steep, so
Okay.
it's not like you could really do much with it, but it would conserve it at least from being used
Okay.
elsewhere.
How much taxes are we gonna lose?
Not much. I looked
Okay.
it up and it was only like maybe $70 a year. It wasn't much. Because
Just checking.
it's
Just
vacant
checking. I'm
and
always
steep.
thinking
It
on the
wasn't a lot.
financial side of
It's going
things.
to cost us more than that legal fee to investigate it, so.
All right. Okay, back to approval of vouchers. Do I have a motion?
I guess I'm the motion guy tonight. I move that we approve voucher sheet number 2024-12 for $565,932.47.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, we're gonna do something a little different on COG committee reports.
Good.
Did anybody meet
Nope.
last month,
No,
this month? No?
no,
Okay,
no meetings,
no meetings, no reports.
no comments.
No.
filibusters.
Okay. Number 9.
Move to adjourn.
Thank you.
I can't believe I can make all the motions. You were